Welcome to part B of the Poor Man's Workshop. Today we're going to work on this mess right here, and we're going to replace these crappy sawhorses I slapped together real quick when I got this 1950s bowling lane slab. We're going to make some metal stands for it so it'll be more stable and reorganize it. The first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to prep my weld table. I want you to take a notice of what I'm doing with this grinder here. I'm not using that little special wrench that comes with it. I just toss that thing away because if you over tighten it and with the rotation, you're gonna fight to take off whatever wheel that you're using. So I just hand snug it down. The initial clean of the weld table, I'm just using a grinding disc. I'm knocking off all the previous BBs. You want it nice and clear of everything, mostly when you're laying out and when you're fixing everything together, because one little BB can knock off your whole project. I like to use anti-splatter on my table. I'll just kind of spray it on and I'll wipe it off. It makes a huge difference, mostly when you're tacking and doing some welding. You don't have to reach for your grinder. All you have to do is reach for a brush or a rag, and all the BBs will just come right on off the table. Now with these welding pencils, what I found is that the lead likes to pop out on the ass end of it. So what I'll end up doing is I'll just end up putting a little bit of super glue on it. So this way, while I'm sharpening, I don't have to worry about it popping out on the other end. Now when I'm laying out, all I do is I just put a little tick and then I'll grab a square. In this instance, I'm just using a speed square because it's faster, obviously. But majority of the time, you'll be using a combination square because you use combination squares to mark your holes, your notches, your repetitive lines. But a speed square does come in very handy laying out too. Since majority of the pieces are already all laid out, now we have to cut it down, so put it in a vise. You can use a clamp on a steel table, but a vise is your best option. As I mentioned earlier about that tool that I tossed away, here's a good example of me swapping out my discs, so you can see how quick and easy it is. Now with the cutoff wheel on my angle grinder, all I'm doing is I'm just running a real quick pass down the line that I made. And once I establish that little grind line, then I'm just gonna go and continue cutting away. Now anytime that you're gonna have to weld anything, you wanna make sure that you have it clamped down, double check your measurements, double check your squareness, because once you start welding, the heat's gonna make everything warp and shift. And that's the reason why you wanna clamp it down really good and then just double check. As you can see with me double checking everything, it's all squared. I'm gonna end up checking with a tape measure to make sure my distances are right, everything's secured down properly. And then I'm gonna start tacking. Metalworking is almost just like it is with woodworking. Measure twice, cut once. But one thing when you're welding, if you make any adjustments like what I had to make here, I have to go check my squareness and everything over again to make sure nothing moved. It may seem unnecessary to double check your work after you undo a clamp, but you'll be surprised, things do move. Right here, I'm just showing where to kind of tack. I'm just tacking the corners all the way around while it's clamped, obviously. So this way you can do your weld and it's not gonna blow all over the place. So kind of like what I was showing you before, I'm just putting a nice good tack on it. So this way it's gonna stay in place and it's not going to break off. Now everything's all tacked up, so I can start running my beads and get this project going. And here you are. These are the stands I made for that bowling lane slab, all made out of scrap metal that I had on hand. So please subscribe, share, hit that like button, comment below. Help out this new channel so I can keep coming out with content. And thank you for watching. And you all have a good one. See you in part C of the Poor Man's Shop.